What's up, everyone? I'm Joe Revita from Empire Music, and I'm doing nuts and bolts today. It's my first one, and it's going to be something that I tackle on a daily basis. We sell a lot of acoustic guitars here, and we carry Taylor, Martin, and Gibson, really big dealers for those guys. And the question I get probably asked the most is, what's the best wood to get? There's not a right answer to that. There'll be definitely the best wood for you to get for your specific needs. But I think a lot of times what happens is we don't even have a baseline understanding of what we should expect out of a wood. Each manufacturer is going to give you different building techniques that will lead to different tone and just overall characteristics. But the makeup of the wood will be consistent in those brands. So what we say about rosewood or mahogany or maple will generally be true compared to equally sized models in every brand. So what I did today is I grabbed 4 Taylor Grand Auditoriums and 2 Martin Dreadnoughts. So I can go through the Tonewoods and tell you what to expect in each, and then you can start to make a decision as maybe what you would like. The woods I'm going to show off are more vast than Taylor, so I'm going to show a rosewood guitar, a mahogany guitar, a koa guitar, and a maple guitar, because these show a really wide range of sonic capabilities. And then just to show how that holds true of those characteristics, I grabbed 2 Martins, a D18 and a D28, so you can see how the mahogany Martin and the rosewood Martin offer the same characteristics, just with Martin's style and flavor. So what I want to do is start with the rosewood. I think that's a wood that most of us are very comfortable expecting to see when we're looking for an acoustic guitar, and kind of find out what it gives us. So I always kind of think of things as almost like a little 3-band old school EQ for your car, or, old stereo. Rosewood has a really profound range. It's got extra bass and extra treble, and then the mids are suppressed. So when you strum a basic chord, we can expect to hear a lot of bass and a lot of treble, and then the mids to be a little bit more compressed, which is super evident right away. This is an 814 CE, Taylor's flagship model, so a very popular choice. And what you notice right away is you hear a lot of this, a lot of the treble. So again, a lot of strength here, a lot of strength here. And those mids are a little bit more reduced. So a lot of people who like these might be like a singer-songwriter, or someone's trying to sound fuller, depending on where your voice sits. Sometimes those compressed mids are nice, because when you're strumming here, it's filling up where you don't sing. You're strumming here, it's filling up where you don't sing. And your voice lays nice and flat in the center there. So a very good choice. Again, really wide range. Extra bass, extra treble, compressed mids. So the next guitar I have is a Taylor 514 CE. Now, this guitar has the mahogany back and sides. Now with the rosewood, just to give you a quick heads up, it's typically chocolatey looking. You'll see that that's there's obviously different variations of rosewood. This is East Indian, but the characteristics hold true. So this is what they call tropical American mahogany. It's really red looking, you can see that right away. Now this one has the cedar top, but with mahogany what you're going to find is it's got a little bit shorter range. It's got not as much bass at all as rosewood, and it doesn't go as bright as rosewood either on the treble side, and the mids are pushed up. So we kind of have flat bass, flat treble with pushed up mids, and you'll hear that here. And right away you notice it right through here, really strong. The nice thing with mahogany is it's great for all styles of music. If you want to play fingerstyle, you get tons of response, really equal. Again, rosewood's like this range. Mahogany's shorter, but we don't have the extremes. We don't have the way extra bass or the way extra treble. The mids are definitely, like I said, they're more emphasized. But what's great about this is you can play this for any style of music. If you want to play live, it'll sound great, queued up, nice and easy. But you can definitely hear that the bass isn't as strong, the treble isn't as maybe aggressive. So pretty noticeable. Then the next 2 Taylors I have are 2 Builder's Edition Taylors. They'll both have spruce tops. The first guy I'm going to grab here is, actually, I'm going to change the pace here. I'm going to grab this Builder's Edition 614. This is maple. Back and sides here. Really nice flame maple. It's a gorgeous guitar. The Builder's Edition series from Taylor's have been super popular. Now, what you're going to notice with maple is it actually has a pretty wide range. The lowest it goes is just kind of like above the middle frequency. You know, the bottom end on this is not going to be super aggressive, but it's going to be really nice and flat, and it has a really strong treble, and it goes really, you know, out to where almost Rosewood's treble is, or even maybe a touch beyond, but it keeps real even. So what's nice about this is we sell a lot of these guitars to people who perform. This will cut through any mix. If you want to strum and play with other people, you'll be heard through a bass or through keyboards and drums and all those things. You know, it's great for fingerstyle playing, really dynamic. Like I said, it doesn't have that smashing bass, but I think if you give one of these guitars a try, you'll be immediately impressed with its ability to emote. It gets really loud really quick, and it allows you to stay, again, super balanced. So if we're playing in a worship scenario or in a band scenario, lead guitar players love them because it cuts through really easily because it's so strong. And you'll find that if you do plug in live on one of these and you go to a studio, they can basically set it and forget it. You can mic it in a studio and it sounds amazing right away, or you know, live on stage, if your sound engineer can go ahead and just basically lay everything flat and you're going to sound amazing. So that's what you can get out of maple. This again has a treble response that reaches as far as the Rosewood, but it's much more even through the mids, they're not compressed, and then the bass ends much more before a Rosewood would be. The treble on the maple goes farther than the Mahogany, so there's more treble. The mids are flat as opposed to expanded through a Mahogany. And then the bass response here isn't as far as Mahogany even. You know, again, it ends shorter, so it's not going to be as bassy as a Mahogany guitar. Then the last one is Koa. Now, Koa is very popular, Hawaiian wood. It's really pretty as well. This is a Builder's Edition as well. And basically, the story for Koa is very similar to maple, except for it's got a little bit more bottom end, and as it ages, it definitely opens up and really kind of sounds fuller again. So you do hear a hint of that extra bottom end there. It's not dramatic right out of the gate. The treble is very similar, the mids are very similar to the maple, but it's like the ability for this one to be a little throatier out of the gate might be advantageous for you. And again, over time, you'll see that will be a little bit more lush on the bottom end. So what I'm gonna do just real quick is I'm just gonna strum a couple chords on each of these so you can hear them side by side. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna use kind of maybe the Rosewood model as a bass line. So what we'll do is we'll grab that 814, we'll strum a couple chords, and then we're gonna go ahead and compare it to everything else. So again, extra bass, extra treble, compressed mids. Very noticeable there. All those characteristics. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing here. Dead on. More balanced, more mids, not as stark a contrast with the bass to the treble as you will find on the Rosewood here where you get expanded. So here again, here's our Rosewood. Now we're going to go ahead and play our maple guitar, the 614. Really bright, punching through the mids, which is great. And then lastly, I'm going to strum this one more time, and you're going to hear the Rosewood versus the Koa. And then what we're going to do is we're going to expect a pretty similar experience to the maple model, but we're just going to get a touch more bottom end out of our Koa guy. You do that right away. It's a little bit darker than the maple guitar. So then, like I said earlier, the story holds true with different brands. Taylor has a certain type of focus and definition that they're delivering. Companies like Martin or Gibson that we offer might be overall a little bit darker sounding guitars with maybe a little bit less clarity, but the transition between the types of woods on similar models will be the same. So what I want to do is I want to play the D28 and the D18 real quick for you, and you'll hear those differences. So the D28 is our Rosewood guy. Again, you can see the Rosewood, same chocolatey, no secret sauce here. The wood is the wood. It's how the manufacturer decides to brace it and different finish techniques and things like that that'll give them their own sense of tone. But here you're gonna get extra bass and treble again. The D20 is probably one of the most famous guitars on earth, you know. And then we're gonna go to the D18, which is the Mahogany, which will again be a more level bass and treble response with expanded mids. I own a couple of these guitars. Actually, I have an 814 and I have a D18. So here's the D18. You can really hear that. So, like I said, there's not a correct choice here. Obviously, if there was one that was the only way to go, that's all that they would make. But we have lots of different choices for lots of different styles of player. What I consider, when you come in, just come in with an open mind. And my favorite thing to do is when I'm showing somebody a guitar and they're not sure what they want exactly, I like to start with kind of like the three, the maple, the rosewood, and the mahogany. So that kind of gives us our extremely nice and full bass sound, our really brighter sounding guitar, and then the mahogany in the middle. And then from there, we can show you tons of different woods. We have Cocobolos, Ovencols, Sapellis, lots of custom shop guitars with blackwood or Brazilian rosewood or Madagascar rosewood. So all these different variations, but kind of once you come in, you get a feel for the flavor that you like. By playing those three, it lets us know, oh, okay, this is what we're kind of after, and we can show you more variations. We have 500 acoustic guitars in stock, a lot of guitars, and we can show you all sorts of different variations of your favorite. But if you come in kind of with that baseline knowledge, you say, okay, I might want something that's a little bit bassier, or I want something that's more balanced. I bought a D18 because I don't necessarily love super bassy guitars. Sometimes I feel like they sound too jarble and you don't get enough clarity and definition, so I bought something like this. It lets me have the tone that I like with more mids and balance. Just like my 814 that I dig because I think that's just one of the best sounding guitars on earth personally. I like how Taylor voices their guitars. They're really clean, so I like that little extra bass, and I like that snap at the top of the treble. So you're going to find your personal favorites when you come in. But that should give you a basic rundown of acoustic guitar back inside Tonewoods. Obviously there's different tops and things that we can do, and we can talk about all the building techniques that will change the tones of the guitars. But if you come in, give us a call, 412-343-5299. Check our site, reach out to us. You'll see all these guitars on our site, plus all the other ones that we have. And with this baseline knowledge, it might help you get in the general direction of where you're looking to go, so we can help you find the perfect fit. Thanks a lot.